All right, let's jump right in. You know, when we think about AI, we usually picture something that just talks, right? It writes, it chats. But what if it could do things? What if it could actually take action for us? Well, that's exactly what we're digging into today. A whole new kind of AI.
I mean, have you ever felt like you're just drowning in research papers? Whether you're writing an essay or just trying to get smart on a new topic? It's a total information avalanche, right? You spend days just trying to find the right stuff, let alone read it and figure out what actually matters.
So imagine you had a research assistant that could do all of that heavy lifting for you. That's the idea behind this new type of AI. It's not just a fancy text generator. No, it's an actor. It's a doer.
So let's properly meet the star of our show today, the AI research agent. And trust me, this is not your average chatbot. It's something else entirely, built for a very specific and very powerful job.
And this is really the key difference, right here. Think of a standard chatbot, like a super smart parrot. It can only repeat what it's already learned from its training data. But a tool-using agent, that's more like a skilled detective. It doesn't just rely on what it knows. It knows how to use tools, like a search engine or a database, to go out and find fresh clues, new information, to solve the case.
Its mission is what makes it so special. It's not just about chatting. It's a whole process. First, it goes out and finds relevant papers using its toolkit. Then, and this is the cool part, it actually reads and understands what it found. And finally, it pulls everything together into one neat summary for you with all the sources cited. Pretty amazing.
Okay, but how does it actually do all that? Like, what's going on inside its brain? This is where it gets really cool. It all boils down to this one central thinking process.
This process is called the reason-act cycle, or just REACT for short. You can pretty much think of it as the AI's basic playbook. It sees a problem, it reasons about which tool to use, it acts by using that tool, and then it looks at the results to figure out the next step. It's this constant loop of, well, reasoning and acting.
So let's break that loop down. Step 1 is reason. The AI literally asks itself, okay, what tool do I need for this? Step 2, act. It just goes ahead and uses the tool it picked. Step 3 is observe. It looks at the output, the data it got back, and analyzes it. And the final step, synthesize, is where it pulls all those observations together into the final answer you see.
All right, so that's the theory. It sounds good on paper, but let's see what it actually looks like when it's working. We're going to walk through a real query, step by step, and watch this REACT loop do its thing. So here's our starting point. A user asks a pretty tough question. What are the latest advancements in quantum computing? Now, a normal chatbot, it would probably give you a decent but outdated answer, based on whatever it was trained on last year. But this agent can do a whole lot better.
And boom! Right away we see that first step, reason. The agent looks at the question and sees those keywords, latest advancements. It thinks to itself, okay, my built-in knowledge isn't going to cut it here. I need fresh academic info. The best tool I have for that is Google Scholar.
Next up, the ACT step. And it doesn't just think about it. It actually does it. It calls the Google Scholar tool and punches in the search query quantum computing, almost exactly like you or I would.
So the tool does its thing, and now we're in the observe step. The agent gets back a list of brand new papers with summaries. And look at this. It's finding super current stuff on quantum supremacy, topological qubits. This is all new information that was absolutely not part of its original knowledge base.
And finally, we get to the last step, synthesize. The agent takes all these different pieces it just found, all these abstracts, and combines them. It creates one single, easy-to-read summary that gives the user the up-to-the-minute scoop on quantum computing.
So what we've just walked through, that's more than just a neat party trick for research. This is a totally new way to think about AI. It's like a new blueprint for how these systems can work.
And this right here, this is the big mental shift. We've got to stop thinking of the large language model, the LLM, as just a text generator. Think of it more like the conductor of an orchestra. Its real job isn't to play all the instruments, but to reason, to point, and to decide which tool, which section of the orchestra needs to play at any given moment.
This whole setup has a name. It's called the tool-using agent pattern. The basic idea is you separate the brain, that's the LLM doing the reasoning, from the hands, which are all the specialized tools. And when you do that, you suddenly give the AI the power to interact with the real live internet, to connect to private data, or even control other programs. It just blows the doors off what it can do.
Now look, this isn't magic. The potential is huge, for sure. I mean, it lets AI step outside of its little text box and into the real world. But getting it right is tough. It involves really tricky prompt engineering, the tools it uses can be fragile, and you have to be super careful about how it parses information. It's powerful, but it's also a pretty delicate balancing act.
Which brings us to a really big final question. We just saw an AI that could use a search tool, but just think about it for a second. What if we gave it other tools? What if it could use your calendar, your email? What if it could use a stock trading app or run code? What kinds of problems could you solve if AI didn't just talk to you, but could actually act for you?